But I think the landscape of comedy is different for different people. Not knocking the people who do shock value or a lot of sexual content. That's their stick, and they probably young, and at some point they'll grow. Hopefully they'll grow, and it'll be more things in life to talk about. People are like, well, how do you have this many specials? Because I have a life. I had a life before that I talked about, and then I have a current life that I'm still experiencing things. So I'm going to talk about things that's a little different because I'm living, and I'm not stuck in. Sex is not the number one thing. I remember when I figured that sex wasn't that big when I went to they had the thing Netflix and chill, and I actually wanted to watch the movie. I'm like, oh, get your hand off my leg. I'm trying to watch this movie. You know what I'm saying? So
that's funny.
So it's a thing about the development in this game of how you grow and what you think about.
Well, I think comedy is just one of the problems with the label is that there's no genres. It's not like blues comedy, rock and roll comedy, hip hop comedy, EDM comedy. It's just comedy. And you don't know what it is. It's just different people's perspective on things. And there's different kinds of comedy that people like. Some people are giant Richard Pryor fans. Some people are Sam Kinison fans. Some people are Jerry Seinfeld fans. Mm-hmm. And some people love Bonnie Raitt. And some people love, whatever, James Brown. Fill in the blank. There's a lot of different styles of music. And there's a lot of different styles of comedy. And all that I care is that you enjoy what you're doing, and you're doing it because you enjoy it. And if you're doing that, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what you're doing. I don't care if you have props. I don't care if you write signs and hold them up for the crowd. I don't give a shit what you're doing. I don't care if you do impressions. I don't give a fuck what you're doing.
That was a huge. So when talk about the scope of comedy, I can start with Carol Burnett, and I watched that, but the guy who I watched on HBO a lot, I knew I wasn't gonna do that type of stand up. That was just a whole different thing. But Gallagher was crazy to me.
Crazy.
That was the craziest.
Everybody wore plastic. They had garbage bags around their necks.
Front, 6 rows?
Yeah, just getting splattered with watermelons and pineapples and coconuts and whatever the fuck he was. Cabbage. It was ridiculous. Ridiculous. But he also had some good jokes. He had some solid jokes in between then. Dude did a ton of specials.
Yeah.
The craziest story, the Gallagher story, is Gallagher retired and his brother took over. His brother was Gallagher 2. So he had a brother that kind of looked like Gallagher.
I remember that.
Right?
I remember Gallagher 2.
And then somewhere down the line, Gallagher decided he wants to start doing comedy again. And he's like, hey, Gallagher 2, the gig is up. And he's like, no. I'm making money. I'm Gallagher 2. I think there was some sort of a legal dispute. Find out if that's correct. There was a legal dispute between them. Gallagher's younger brother, Ron, who shared a strong likeness to Leo, asked him for permission to perform shows using Gallagher's trademark sledge-o-matic routine. Leo granted his permission on the condition that Ron and his manager clarified in promotional materials that this was Ron Gallagher, not Leo Gallagher, who was performing. Ron typically performed in venues smaller than those in which Leo Gallagher performed. After several years, Ron began promoting his act as Gallagher 2 or Gallagher TOO or TWO. In some instances, Ron's act was promoted in a way that left unclear the fact that he was not the original Gallagher. Leo initially responded by requesting only that his brother not use the sledge-o-matic routine. You can't use the sledgehammer. Ron nonetheless continued to tour as Gallagher 2 using the routine. In August 2000, Leo sued his brother for trademark violations and false advertising. The court ultimately sided with Leo and granted an injunction prohibiting Ron from performing any act that impersonated his brother in small clubs and venues. This injunction also prohibited Ron from intentionally bearing likeness to Leo. What? Imagine you can't look like your brother.
Cut your mustache.
Yeah, you got to change your mustache. You got to get rid of the beard. That's crazy. So did Gallagher continue with his career after he kicked his brother out? Did he come back?
Probably did.
Was that part of it?
I think it was. Yeah, I think. I don't know.
No, but I mean, does it say it there?
Didn't say it here. No.
It doesn't say.
Not specifically in this paragraph. No.
When did Gallagher start performing again? Put that in a search. See what it says. Because I think he did start performing again.
Yeah, he says it's. He was rushed to the hospital after performance in 2011.
Oh.
So.
Okay. And what year did he sue his brother?
2000.
Oh, so he did start doing comedy again. So that's it. Yeah. So he's like, hey, motherfucker.
Yeah, he had a special in 2007 and 2014.
Yeah, you can't be doing that with Gallagher too, running around, siphoning off of your crowd. People are like, honey, you want to spend $50 and see Leo? Or do you want to spend $20? See, basically the same shit.
See Ron.
See Ron smashing fucking cabbage.
Then you had Carrot Top.
And imagine saying, yeah, you can perform, but you can't use a sledgehammer.
I would use a mallet. What about a mallet? Can I use a mallet?
Can I use a baseball bat? Can I just have someone pitch me things and I smash them into the crowd?
Yeah.
You can't own that.
That's a different thing. I'm handing out oranges and tomatoes in the audience.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck what you do as long as you like what you're doing. It's like I love certain kinds of music that's completely opposite to other shit that I love. I mean, I like all kinds of stuff. I don't think you should pigeonhole yourself with anything. But I would not take my kids, especially when they were really young, to see someone who's like very sexual or really rowdy or really raunchy. Like, I don't want to see that.
The caveat to this is he was in the green room and they were looking right at him. Like they introduced, like, and I'm like,
what does he do to change his act?
Tell me what you. I didn't know they act.
So he didn't say, "Hey, bro, you got young kids."
Yeah, hey, man. Because I would say, "Hey, man, tonight,
right?
Yeah. This is at an event, bro."
Oh, I would definitely do that. Especially if you were another comic and you brought your kids out, bro.
Yeah, because Juan Villarreal used to bring his kids.
Dick sucking. We got
like, yo, you got to get him out of here.
They don't need to know about all these techniques.
Yeah, so that's weird, But
yeah, that is weird. But you know what I mean? It's like time and a place. Like, who was he doing it for? I mean, they probably knew what he did before they hired him. They probably wanted that. Someone's a fan, which is fine. But just don't invite kids.
And like I said, I didn't.
Right.
All I did was, hey, Hassan, let's go. And that's it. I didn't, hey, y'all should have been. I'm like, hey, man, do what you do. But I'm getting my kid out of here. Man, and then you get the phone call. Hey, man, why you leave? You don't really want to know why. I'm leaving because you are terrorizing my child's kids. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but I definitely wouldn't take my girls to like, none. I'm like, none of these guys.
They don't need to see that early.
Not at all.
My wife got mad at me when I think one of my daughters was 6, the other one was 8. I had them watch the movie Alien. You ever see that movie Alien, the original movie?
Yeah.
Fucking terrifying. And I was like, this is too young. I fucked up.
I think Hassan watched Annabelle when he was young, and it was...
Oh, Annabelle's creepy.
He was traumatized. He watched it at somebody else's house.
Oh.
And, with some other kids, and they were like, I guess they understood. But Hassan it was a whole problem. Like, you talking about sleeping with all the lights on in the house? Like, I want all the lights on, and I'm sleeping in your bed. Like,
do you ever go to that place in Vegas? It's Zach Baggins Haunted Museum. He has the Annabelle doll there.
Wow.
Yeah, there it is. Which one is the one on the right?
Oh, hell no.
That's the real one?
That's Raggedy Ann.
Is the one on the left the movie one? Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. Interesting.
Wow. So that Annabelle is both of them creepy as hell to me, but
well, there's something kind of extra creepy about the one with eyes like a person, the left one.
That's insane.
You believe in ghosts?
Yes.
Really? Have you had experience?
No. Oh, no. I have. Let me go back. Let me say that. I do believe in ghosts. So my old house where my mom stays at now, it's a girl that lives there. I don't know what happened at this house, but it's definitely a girl that lives in the house. But she would only come from like the hallway bathroom to the kitchen. And I remember doing the pandemic.
Wait a minute, you say a girl, you mean a ghost?
Yeah, that's a girl.
Okay.
She's definitely a girl. And I remember during the pandemic, I was in the den and I was working on something. And literally, I just turned and said, "So you up, huh?" And because I could feel her. I was like, yo, and I had to go back through my family. A lot of people in my family have experiences with past relatives that passed on. My uncle said he saw his dad, which was my grandfather, in his shoes. And my mom said she saw my grandfather before, and that died in the house that they had in Mississippi. But yeah, I believe in ghosts. I believe in unsettled spirits. But we definitely had a girl that lived in the house.
My grandmother, the one I was telling you about before, she was very interesting, and she really strongly believed in ghosts. And there was a guy that stayed with them for a while. They had like an upstairs area that they weren't using once the kids left, and so they rented out it was like an attic space that they had converted or something. I forget exactly what it was. Anyway, they rented out a room to this guy, wherever the circumstances were, and he died. And my grandmother swore that dude stayed in the house.
Yeah, I believe it.
I think it's possible that if something happens to you, that if you're dying, that's a very traumatic experience. And I have a feeling that we don't totally understand memory. And we assume that memory is something that only human beings have, or that only animals have, or that only creatures have, living creatures have. I don't think that's real. I have a feeling there may be a type of memory from particularly traumatic experiences that stays in a space. And I think this is one of the reasons why they have to disclose within a certain amount of time if someone's been murdered in a house in a lot of places before you buy it, because people don't want to live in a house that's got that energy in it.
Yeah.
Because I think things keep energy. I think they do. I think there's something more to memory than just as simple as, oh, remember when we were 5? I think there's something else there. I think that's our memory. But I think there's a type of memory in things. That's what I think.
I believe in the unseen world. So I believe in jinns. I believe in angels. You know what I'm saying? So it's an unseen world that's not, our thing. But it was things here before us. So
I think there's things here with us.
Yeah, definitely with us.
And
for sure.
people who don't think that haven't smoked DMT.
But I definitely believe in jinns.
Get a hold of some DMT and you're like, okay, I don't know shit. There's things around me all the time. There's things that are influencing you all the time. And this is like, when we talk about like good energy and bad energy, one of the things you experience in psychedelic states is a clear recognition of like good things that you've done and bad things you've done. The good way of thinking, the good way you think about things, a positive way, and bad. Like I remember having negative thoughts in an experience once, and there was all these like dark fractals, and then I realized it was trying to show me that these dark fractals, these crazy geometric, these like scary patterns that I was seeing was because of my own thoughts. And then I released them, and it turned into beautiful geometric patterns over and over. And it kept saying like, look at this and look at this. And I was like, oh, it's actually the way you think changes the world around you. It has an effect. It might not have the ultimate effect. It might not be 100% of what happens to you and in your life, but it has a meaningful effect. We just can't measure it. And there's things that are out there, whatever they are, they have some kind of consciousness that are around us all the time. We just don't have the senses to take them in. Just like when you wave your hand over an earthworm, it has no fucking idea you're doing that. We don't have the senses to understand that there's things around us. And people have been writing about these things for so long. To discount them all, they're all liars, they're all delusional, they're all crazy.
I think that people discount them due to thinking that they were on drugs.
Well, they probably were.
Yeah,
But it doesn't mean they're wrong.
It doesn't mean they're wrong.
Yeah.
Like a drunk really don't tell a lot of lies.
Depends on the drunk.
A drunk don't tell a lot of lies. I'm drunk. I can't remember all that. I'm just saying what it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when people like LSD, you hallucinates, or mushrooms or these things, people are like, well, you only saw that because you was on this. But maybe that's the portal on how you see certain things.
I think there's certain things that we block ourselves from being able to see by our own protective instincts. We protect our thoughts. I mean, this is why people, I think, get paranoid when they smoke weed. One of the things that weed does is it dissolves all these artificial barriers that you've put between you and the thoughts of real danger. They're all there. You realize your vulnerability. You realize who you are.
So just think of how, years ago, how weed was viewed, how marijuana was viewed. It was taught that marijuana is the gateway drug to crack. Like,
Right.
I didn't believe that. Like, how did that even correlate? But it's for those who are trying to find an ultimate high. Maybe you just smoke weed and that's all you ever did, and you wasn't trying to find another high. I think some people try to find another high. Like now, man, a lot of these young people are on so many different things at the same time. Like, what are you searching for? They popping pills, doing coke, drinking lean, doing everything all at the same time. Like, and drinking. Like, what are you trying to escape, or what are you searching for? And I just know people who just smoke weed and still smoke joints. Like, they don't smoke I know people who grow their own bud. They not even trusting what's going on now. Now they finding fentanyl and all this marijuana,
And
deep.
pesticides.
Pesticides.
Horrible pesticides. Because what people don't know is that a giant percentage of all the drugs, or marijuana rather, that people are buying in places where it's illegal, they're growing them in national forests in California, and the cartel's doing it. And the cartel uses a bunch of pesticides and herbicides that are illegal, like real toxic shit. And they find them doing it all the time. They find these grow ops in the forest all the time because it's a misdemeanor. So because marijuana is legal in the state of California, growing it is just a misdemeanor. So you could have a full-scale grow op in, public land out in the forest. And these guys find them there all the time. A friend of mine found one in a ranch that he works at. He followed these PVC pipes, and he realized that some guy was diverting water into this little area that was on Tejon Ranch, which is a big ranch outside of Bakersfield. But this dude that was on my podcast before, his name's John Norris. He wrote a book about it. He was a game warden, and it turned into a tactical unit. They had to get like dogs, like Belgian Malinois and shit, with bulletproof vests, and they're going in there having shootouts with the cartel because the cartel had set up these marijuana grow ops in the woods, and it was his job to police that area. It's like, okay, I guess that's what we're doing now. And then it's a crazy story, man.
Sound like moonshine. That's why you was doing moonshine.
Exactly.
And this thing, moonshining developed into NASCAR.
Exactly. Exactly. They had to outrun the cops.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what NASCAR came about from. It's fun. Listen, also, it's Al Capone. It's all the mob. They were all running alcohol. And there's a lot of people that were connected to them. Some people believe that JFK's dad was involved in alcohol, but that's disputed. But the point is, like, a lot of people were making money selling alcohol. They were all criminals, all of them. And so what are you doing? Are you stopping people from getting marijuana? Nope. What you're doing is you are empowering a criminal empire, and you're giving them an immense amount of money. And they're probably going to have to kill a few people because people get in the way. They're probably going to have to rob a few people because people are competition. There's a little bit of a problem over here. We got another guy growing.
When we live in a society where the bad guy is definitely romanticized.
Right.
So how do you stop people from wanting to be the bad guy when it's so romanticized in everything,
It's romanticized to the point where John Wick is a good guy.
Yeah.
John Wick is a contract killer for the Russian mob. He kills who knows how many fucking people, and he's the good guy.
But you got a problem with the Iceman.
Right.
Right. The Iceman was a terrible person.
Right.
He
did it with poison. John Wick at least looked sexy in that suit.
But you cannot wait for John Wick 6 to come out.
Can't wait. I love those. Well, the John Wick movie though, he had a reason. They killed his dog and they stole his car. They fucked up. They stole the wrong guy's car and they killed the wrong guy's puppy. And so you're rooting for him. You're rooting for him to kill all these bad Russian guys. But you don't realize, like, that guy's been a contract killer for the Russian mob for who knows how many dads has he assassinated? How many fucking people that have families that will never come home to them because of John Wick?
And sometimes, a lot of times, people don't care.
We don't care.
That's weird.
Well, we're weird. We're a weird animal. We're a weird animal in a constant flux of thoughts. And we trying to figure out what's the right way to think and the wrong way to think. And people join religions for it. They'll join cults for it. They'll join political movements for it. They just want to find a way to think that makes them feel better than the way they think right now.
With the need to feel better outside of yourself, or your family, or being, great to society. I think that's detrimental to this society where I personally need to feel better, but I don't want the community around me to feel better. And in my mind, if everybody around you in the community feels better, I think it makes for a more harmonious, environment than me just being the only one.
Yeah, but that's because you're a wise person. The problem is there's a lot of people that aren't wise, and there's no one wise around them, and that's the real issue. Is that there's an extreme lack of like a good direction book of how to lead a solid life. And you're not taught at school. In school, you're taught to sit down and learn some shit that you don't give a fuck about learning. Memorize this. Do good on the test. You got to get a job. What's a job? Well, you got to sit there and do some shit you don't want to do to get some money. And with the rest of your time, you can do whatever you want as long as you keep showing up every morning at the same spot. Okay. And then that sucks. And so what do you want to do? I want to escape this suck. So what do I need? Cold syrup? Okay, give me some of that. What do I need? Weed? Give me some of that. Adderall? Ooh, Adderall makes me like the job. Okay, I'll take this shit every day. Now I don't give a fuck. Now I'm trying to get ahead. Next thing you know, I'm moving up the corporate ladder. And I'm a fucking animal, bro, because I'm on Adderall. You're basically on meth. You're on a well-designed, slow drip amphetamine. And you're out there fucking sleeping 4 hours a day, getting shit done. Driving a Jaguar. And this is the problem in society. Is that like people don't have a real. There's a lot of people out there that don't really have a purpose. They don't have a real feeling of purpose in their life. You are very fortunate because you found a thing that you're really good at, that you love to do, and you make a great living doing it. A lot of people don't have a thing, and they never were taught to pursue a thing, or they never saw anybody else do it, and they realized they could do it too. And then next thing you know, they're married and they have kids and they're in their 30s and then they're in their 40s and they feel like shit.
I ask you a question. You have a team, correct? Team of people.
In terms of what?
Team of people.
Sure.
Okay. Do you think your team is happy doing whatever they do for the team?
If I didn't think that, they wouldn't be working.
Okay. So you don't want to be the only one happy on the team.
No, that's terrible.
So...
And you don't want to also have someone on the team that is one of those people that just is never happy. That's a problem too.
Yeah,
that's a problem too.
So
there's people out there you can't fix.
So with, like, I produce other people's specials now, and comics have hit me. Hey man, I want you to distribute my special. I want you to do this with my special. And the hardest thing, because I'm a small company, the hardest thing is when I have to explain to somebody why it's a no. On this particular special. And it's not just my no. It is 4 other people's no, because I tell people, and I explain this, if we doing a special with you, you have to get the approval of all 5 of us, because we all 5 do different things. And I want everybody who's involved in your special to want to do it, not they have to do it because it's a part of the company. No, I want them to want to do it. And I say, I'm not putting you through a process that I'm not putting myself through. You know what I'm saying? And I've tested this team with me giving them a special that I knew that wasn't special. And I'm the head. I'm like, I sent it out and we brought it back to the table, and it was a lot of silence at first. I'm like, so what we think? What we thinking? And they was like, no, like, Ali, this is horrible. I'm like, and I'm just listening to everybody's, opinion on it. And they was like, I don't understand the direction. I don't understand where you're going with this. I just, we gonna have to fix a lot of it. I'm like, and I'm just sitting there listening. And we took the vote. And when we turned the vote in, it was 5 no's. And he was like, so what was your take on it? I said, I knew it was a no from the beginning. I just wanted to make sure that y'all wasn't going to try to fluff me with because he's the head, we're going to say yes. And I'm like, good. So anytime we do a project, it was that I put it on the table just like I put anybody else's project on the table. And you got to get all 5 people. If you want me to finance, you got to get me. Then you got to get the marketing person that's going to market. Then you got to get the director. You got to get the manager. You got to get everybody, so they can feel good about pushing your project. I don't want anybody pushing a project that they don't like.
That's very smart. Yeah, so you make it a democracy. Yeah. Smart.
So if you got all 5 of us, then now we ready. Right. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm going to feel good about somebody coming to me and say, this is going to cost this.
Right.
Because I know they're doing it out of, hey, man, this is what's going to cost. We're going to figure it out. And I'm like, cool. But even when I do a special, man, it is a lot of, you don't want to talk about this part? Like, no. It's like, we should talk about this part. And it's been some decisions that have been made it was my call at the end, but it was somebody else's idea, like with Domino Effect. It would have never been a Domino Effect 2, 3, or 4 if I would have stuck with the name that I started with. The name was 1983. So what it was going to be, 83,
Part 2.
86.
Right.
80.
Right.
It's like, and Rugged, which won 3 Webby Awards. Rugged was the original name was I'm Not Handy, and Eric called me, was like, no, I've listened to it, I watched it so many times, I think that we should go with this name. And he gave me the name, and I sat on it for a day, and then I called him back. I'm like, yeah, you about right.
That's good. That means you got good people.
And I think that people should put, like right now I'm on the custom fit tour. Well, I'm off until August because I'm gonna take 6 weeks of vacation. But custom fit is not going to be a special. It's just the tour that I'm doing now, because the specials that I'm writing are different than what I just wanted to take this time to just do some material. I didn't want to
Have a theme.
be working on a special.
Right.
But the theme is about, people think custom fit is about clothes. It's not about clothes. It's about tailor making the people around you. You know what I'm saying? That you can be a benefit to and can be a benefit to you. You know what I'm saying? Not just having these people around, because, you know, sometimes people have a bunch of people around that secretly despise them, you know, and secretly despise their success. And that's detrimental to anything.
Haters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes haters will get real close to you, stay next to you. Yeah, it's a problem.
And
I mean, when you're in a
sabotage.
position like you're in too, when you're producing other people's specials, you're gonna get a bunch of people that come to you that you don't want to do their shit. It's just like owning the club. The same issue. The way I bypass that, I put all the power into Adam. Adam Egget decides who's there and who's not there, and how the club gets scheduled, and you know who passes and who doesn't. And he's really good at it. You know, he's really good at it. I trust him implicitly, so I don't have to think about it, and I like it. So that when people say, "I want to work your club," I'm like, "Well, you got to talk to Adam." I just perform. I might be the owner, but I just perform there. I don't think about it in terms of like how the scheduling is. I often have to check the website to see who's there. I don't know who's there. You know, it might be mine, but I got a guy who does it, and he does it really well. So why would I get involved in that? It's easier to not.
When I had the club in Houston, I couldn't be funny in the club at all.
Why not?
Because I was actively working the club. So I'm on stage and I'm worried about
Oh, I see.
so many other things,
Right.
you know, going on. Like, yo, did you just drop a glass on the ground? Like, like I didn't have enough help. So
You got to get the right help.
Yeah, you gotta
I
get the
got
right
very fortunate in that a lot of the people that I took to Austin, they were from the Comedy Store, and they were out of work. So the Comedy Store closed because the fucking stupid government of LA, they wouldn't even allow them to do outside shows. You couldn't do an outside show in the parking lot of the Comedy Store. They wouldn't allow it. It's so stupid. They were closed for like a good solid year and a half. They couldn't support paying all these people. So they had to get rid of them, and I moved here, and it's the same time. It just by chance. It happened at the same time. And so they were all out of work, and I said, hey, let's get the band back together again. Do you guys want to move to Austin? So I paid for everybody to come out here, and I paid for them. I gave them a full salary with everything for like a year and a half or so, maybe even more, maybe 2 years before anybody had to go to work because the club wasn't open. So I was like, I want to give you a job, like so you could settle in, get used to Austin. You're going to get paid like you get paid, like you're working, but you don't have to work. But I love you, I know you, and you know, come here.
very admirable. With the store, I just performed at the store, main room for TDE. They had a thing before BT Awards, so I popped in. And the Comedy Store has a certain politics to it that, you know, I like the other one a little more, even though all they serve is
The Improv?
No, the
Laugh Factory?
other Comedy Store.
Oh, La Jolla?
Yeah, La Jolla.
La Jolla's the shit.
Which is
That place is the shit. What a club.
They just don't have food.
No,
You
I don't-
popcorn, drinks.
I don't believe in food at comedy clubs either.
Yeah, so
But it's just a different environment. La Jolla is like very nice, beautiful place. That club is awesome.
I love performing there. And with the store in LA, it's like you get there and it seems very, you know, segregated.
This is now?
To me, that's when I
How long ago was this?
I just performed last Wednesday.
That's sad to hear because it wasn't like that before.
It seemed like the main room and the room around the corner and the belly, all these rooms are different spaces, and that's to me. And it may just be that feel because I'm not there a lot, you know. But before I came that time, but the management walked up was very pleasant.
What do you mean by different spaces? But obviously they're different rooms. But I mean, what do you mean?
It seemed like the main room is different from the room around the corner.
Well, it is different. But what do you mean by feels different?
It feels a little different.
Well, I mean, just by its design, it's
That's
a big
design right
showroom. It's brighter. The ceilings are taller, and then you get into the original room, which is just tight and perfect. The original room is like that's where you find out what's real. You know, I've seen a lot of people have rough sets. They were real confident going into that room. That room is a truth serum.
I like a tight room like
Well,
that.
then there's the belly room. The belly room is the ultimate truth serum. Trying out new jokes in the belly room is the place because you know it only seats 70 people.
Oh,
You can't bullshit those people. There.
That's the creme de la creme
Oh,
to
yeah.
me is a tight, small
The
room.
belly room is
'Cause that's what
spectacular.
I came from.
Such a good room.
I came from small audiences.
They're the
you know.
best. It's the best for finding out if jokes are real. There's nothing like a small crowd. Like in our club, we have the little boy. We have our rooms are named after the bombs they dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and little boy is only 110 seats. It's a super low ceiling.
This is when, you know, it's those times in comedy when you knew that that's what you actually love to do. And I remember I was in San Antonio at this place called Santa's. He literally owned the whole strip, the club, the washateria, the corner store, everything. The guy named Santa. I didn't know that he owned it, but it was like a rainstorm or something. The show got rained out. And it is literally 3 people in this room. It's 2 ladies and it's Santa, and I don't know that this is him at the time. And we had to go on to get paid. The promoter was like, I'm not paying nobody who don't go on. We still doing the show. I'm like, okay. So this is $100. He's getting paid $100. And he was like, who going up? I'm like, I'm definitely going up. And I'm going up first. Like, I don't care. I did like an hour and 30 minutes for 3 people. And I was like, because I kept looking and like, anybody else going over there? He was like, no, we good. I'm like, and Santa, I remember he finally revealed that he was the owner of the club. And he was like, well, let me take you to the back. He took me to the back and he gave me like $700. He was saying, for performing. He said, yeah, man, you wasn't scared. And me and my friends had a good time. And it was like 3 people. It was literally a dude named Vance put the show on. It was like 3. Vance tell anybody. So he was like, this is when I knew Ali was different. When he went out, 3 people, he went first, and he's like an hour and 30. And he was like, and it didn't look like he was coming down. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm here. This is what I do. And I need that $100. So, so that's definitely some extra motivation.
It's crazy that no one else wanted to go up.
They was like, no. And another time I was at Wiley, it was a Wiley College, and Marcus was performing, and the mic went out. And it's like all these people in this auditorium, the same place they shot, Denzel shot the movie The Great Debate. So we in this auditorium, and the sound goes out. And they started ribbing Marcus, and I was in the back. I was like, what's going on? And he's like, the sound went out. And I walked out. I was like, what's happening? And I said, hold on, Marcus. Let me ask him something. Wait a minute. I know damn well y'all not in here trying to get somebody a problem because y'all got us in. We didn't bring this sound system. Got us in Fair East Side High performance, broken clock, and so I say, listen, Marcus sat down in the back. And I was like, yo, this is what we gonna do. I'm gonna talk. Y'all gonna laugh. Then I'm gonna talk some more. But y'all can't be laughing all along because we don't have no sound. So I'm not supposed to use my real voice in this. So I'm at like 45. And then I look back at Mark, I say, hey, man, you want to come back up? Mark was like, no. Like, you got it? So I did like an hour and 20. He was like, yo, Ali's nuts. I'm like, no, this is what I do, and I'm going to figure it out.
We did a show at the Improv once in Hollywood, and the power went out, and they were going to cancel the show. And we were sitting there talking, and I said, can we light the stage somehow? And they said, yeah, we can get a emergency light attached to like a generator. And we could run the wires through the crowd and put an emergency light on the stage. I go, we'll do that. And then we'll just do stand-up with no mic. And we did the whole show with no mic. It was the opening, middle, and then me. I did a full hour. It was amazing. Everybody had a great fucking time. It felt special. It felt very unusual. Yeah. You got to see what it's like when you don't have a microphone and you're projecting to the back of the room. Changed my pacing on things. But it was great. It felt cool. It felt like you were doing something, and the audience was into it. I go, look, we're gonna have fun, right? Like, fuck it, who cares? This is never gonna happen again, probably ever. Yeah. I've been doing comedy 30-something years. I've never had that happen where I did a show with no microphone except that one.
So this is the thing. These are the experiences that, as a comic going through the trenches, that some comics will never have.
Right.
Because they didn't come up that way. And you have a different set of chops when you come up a certain type of way. I've come up, and just joking had to be the craziest place, because some nights you'll come in there, it's like 9 people, but these 9 people are into comedy, and Alice would be like, we gotta do the show. Like, it's not we don't have a limit. We gotta do these people that's here, because what the thing is, that whole idea that the show must go on regardless too.
Well, I learned that from Paul Mooney too. and one of the things that I did a show at the Comedy Store. It's like the first time that Mooney ever complimented me, and that I was always scared of him. Because like if Mooney didn't like you, it was terrifying. Because he was a legend. He was a legend. Wrote for Richard Pryor, and it was like the way he carried himself. Like he didn't like you, like. And I was 27. You know, I was young and stupid. And I went up because I would always go up last or late. I had late spots, and there was like 15 people in the room. But I did my act, and I heard in the back of the room, oh, oh. He was laughing, having fun, and then he grabbed me afterwards. He goes, "You're a real motherfucking comic." He goes, "That's what a real comic does." He goes, "All these other motherfuckers, they went up there and they did, oh, where you from? Bitch, I know where I'm from. Tell me some fucking jokes. Do your fucking act." And that's what you did. And I was like, wow, Paul Mooney likes me. Whew.
Me and Paul had a different type of relationship.
Did you and Paul not get along?
One, I have to always say I love Paul until I met him. It's like Paul was on some bullshit when I met Paul. Man, I was at the Improv and I was featuring for him, and the Improv had got me to feature for him, and I was like, cool, I'm excited. I get to meet one of my idols in this game, one of the people who changed the course of my pacing, because my lineage to sitting down, I passed through Paul. So it's, when I first started, I was a crazy man. I was all over the place, thought that you had to have all this energy. And then this guy named Dez White walked into the club one night. I was there, and Dez stood in the same exact place. He never took the mic out the stand, put his drink down on the stool, and Dez just stood there. And he was destroying this room. Never took the mic out the stand. And he always talking about, people say, Dez, why you don't take the mic out the stand? And he's like, because there's a stand. let it hold the mic. So.
Bro, some of my favorite comics don't take the mic out of the stand. Ron White.
Yeah.
Ron White just stands there with a drink on a stool, sometimes with a cigar, just killing with the microphone in the stand.
Oh, man.
Joey Diaz. Joey Diaz keeps the fucking mic in the stand, and he makes me laugh harder than any fucking human being that's ever lived.
So I'm gonna finish Paul, then I'm gonna go to Ron.
So what did he do though?
So I'm in the green room, and at the old Improv where they had a downstairs, you would come through it used to be a rainforest cafe.
Right.
Yeah, so it was Spellbinders at first, and then it changed. So I'm sitting in the green room, and like it's a main part, then it's a smaller part. He walked into the small part and said, "Hey, go count the room." And I was like, "What?" "Yeah, go count the room." I was like, I don't work here like that. I don't count the room. And he was like, "Yeah, all right." And he walked out. And then he came back like maybe 25 minutes later. "Yeah, tell you and your little white friend that it's packed out there and I want my bonus." What white friend? What are you talking about? Raymond Cook is the manager of the club at the time. He was talking about Raymond. And I was like, "Yo, Paul, I don't count the room. I'm the feature. Why would I be counting the fucking room?" Like, and then he said something else negative to me, and I'm like, "Yo, Paul, if you say something else to me, I'm gonna kick your ass, Paul." Like, what is wrong with you? So I called DL. I'm like, "Yo, I'm about to fucking beat up Paul Mooney." He's like, "You can't beat up Paul Mooney. He's a legend." I'm like, it's like, even if you beat him up, you're still not gonna win. It's like it's gonna be a loss.
Right.
So I'm like, yo. So then another time. Oh, and then later on that same weekend, he had this lady with him, and she was sitting at the top, and I was sitting up there, and she got up and she left her purse. So I didn't want to leave the lady's purse there, so I grabbed the strap and I got the purse like this. I came in, I'm like, "Hey, ma'am, you left your purse." And Paul turned on like, "What are you doing with her purse?" I said, "She left it." And then only thing in my head is, DL, you cannot beat up Paul Mooney. So I just walked out. I'm like, I'm gonna fuck Paul up.
What year was this?
This is like 3 years before he died, and this was the old Improv.
This is what I'd heard. Just for clarity, he was struggling in the last years of his life, so you probably didn't get the best version of Paul Mooney.
So then we here in Austin. We performing at the theater that's right next to the Paramount. It's another theater that's connected to the Paramount. The Black Heritage, the Black Art something, have booked both of us, not knowing that we at odds. So I'm in my green room, and the lady comes in. Hey, she's very nice. Hey, Ali, Paul Mooney's next door. You know what I'm saying? And you like to meet him. And I was like, no, I'm cool. And then she goes, Paul, Ali's next door. You know, I don't know if y'all want to meet each other. And Paul was like, no, I'm cool. And I went up. I'm in my green room, and the host is on stage, and Paul was getting ready to go up. And this was his apology. He walked by the room and came back like on Purple Rain. Came back and leaned in the room to me, hi, Ali. And then I think Paul's fucking nuts, man. And
yeah, but you got to take that. You know, there's certain people that are just eccentric. That's Paul. I mean, I wouldn't have counted the fucking room either. I would have been like, that's not my job.
Yeah,
but
Ron White, I was in Orlando. Manager Orlando called me, say, "Hey Ali, I know you have a feature, but Ron White would like to feature for you." And I was like, I don't know no person named Ron White. And she's like, "You don't know Ron White?" I'm like, "Wait a minute. Like Ron White? I think it was like some other guy who's using his name or something like that. His name happens to be Ron White too. Like Ron White? He's like, yeah. I said, he want a feature for who? He said, you. He called and asked. I was like, the fuck? I said, hell yeah. So I called Marcus. I'm like, yo, Marcus, you gonna go up and then you gonna bring up Ron White.
When was this?
This was like maybe 4 years ago.
That's crazy.
And Ron shows up in this huge tour bus. Like I'm walking to the club and I'm like, who bus is this? And I'm like, oh shit, it's Ron's, but got the tequila brand on it and all that. And he's in his bus. He's not even in the green room. Then I get knock on the door and it's his manager. He's like, hey, Ron would like to know, can he come in the green room? I was like, he's like, Ron, why can't he come in the green room? So he comes in. He's like, yo man, I love what you do. I just want to do some time. And Ron went up there and was destroying this room. And I couldn't wait to get up because I wanted to just talk about fucking Ron White, this feature for me. And I destroyed his room. And Ron, he sat out and watched. He was like, you're fucking amazing. And like, in my mind I'm still in awe that Ron White wanted to fucking
wanted to work with you.
Like, I was like, that shit was crazy to me.
That's so cool. Well, when he's working on new stuff, that's what he likes to do. He likes to go around and does a lot of sets. He's constantly active. He's at the club tonight. We're working tonight. He's one of the main reasons I moved here. Ron moved here before the pandemic. So I called him up in like 2018. I loved having him at the store. So he started coming to the store around 2014-ish, something like that. And oh my God, we had so much fun for years and years. And he had a beautiful place up in Beverly Hills. And then he just got sick because he's always traveling. He just got sick of the long flights and the traffic. And I called him up. I go, why'd you move to Texas? He goes, Austin's amazing. The food's fucking great. Everyone's nice. It's in the middle of the country. If I want to fly to Florida, it's quick. If I want to fly to... I'm like, God damn it. Can I live in Texas? And then the shit hit the fan with COVID. And I was like, I got to get the fuck out of California. This place sucks. They're telling me what to do. This is not what I signed up for. You tell me I can work. You tell me I have to wear a mask. Fuck you. I'm getting out of here. And when I came to Austin, it was like one of the main reasons why I was willing to move here. I'm like, if we never do comedy again, at least I can hang out with Ron.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then everybody else came. And then so everybody says that I got everybody to move here. Sorta. I got a lot of people to move here, but Ron got me to move here. That's the most important thing. Like, Ron got me to move here. And then I realized how nice people are here and how disconnected they are from show business. And I was like, oh, this is so refreshing. Everyone's just normal. My neighbor's a normal guy. Everyone's normal. Yeah. They're regular people. Just people living their lives, having a good time. It's like... And for me, because I love hunting, everyone hunts out here.
Yeah.
It's like a normal pastime. I tell people I bow hunt in California. Like, oh.
Texas, we have been a gym for a long time, and we let other people feel like they the upper echelon. We were like, okay.
Texas ruled forever. I mean, you got to think, Kinnison and Hicks, two of the greatest of all time, came out of Houston.
Yep.
And when I was coming here all the time, I knew it, right? So one of the things that was good about doing comedy is a lot of people that moved during the pandemic just wanted to get out of California, but they had no idea what the rest of the world was going to be like. They'd never been to Nashville. They'd never been to Austin. I'd been here a couple dozen times. I knew I loved it. So I was like, look, this will be all right. Like, I'll be fine. Like, it looks like I'm never doing comedy again. I was like, it looks like comedy's done. It looks like they're going to fucking make us just stay indoors, especially in, like, blue cities. Like, this is crazy. You have to have a Vax card to eat at a restaurant in New York City. I'm like, this is fucking bananas. None of this shit makes any sense.
I remember you guys came. Mothership was coming. The next thing I know, Creek in the Cave was here.
Creek in the Cave was here first.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying how I heard about it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
they're like Creek in the Cave. I'm like, damn, okay, Creek in the Cave is coming from New York, and then Mothership is here, and then, but they had rooms. You know, the main thing was what was the room that was so hard to get in at first? It was the Austin Comedy Club. Damn, I forget the name of it.
Velveeta Room?
No, it was the actual comedy club.
Cap City?
Cap City.
Yes.
Cap City.
That place was always packed.
Yeah,
Oof.
you know.
I almost bought that place.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I almost bought that whole mall, but the guy who was trying to sell it to me wanted way more than it was worth. And then he got roped up in some FBI investigation. I was told while it was going on that he was being investigated, and I was like, oh, okay. And then he wound up getting arrested. But that building was for sale. The whole thing was for sale. And I went in there. I thought about how many shows I'd been there, how many shows I'd seen there, how many shows I'd performed there. I'm like, I could own this place? Oh, my God.
Cap City was the first place that I did on the road with DL.
That was a great club.
You know,
Fucking great club. Perfect club. That place was amazing. Such a fun place to work.
I think that people didn't realize